welcome back. Leslie here. This is going to be the one thing I do every single day that increases my Etsy views and Etsy sales. So hopefully this is something that you are interested in. If so, hit that subscribe button and that little bell so that you'll be notified of anything new that I have coming up. And let's get started. So let's say you have your Etsy shop up and running. Congratulations on that. And you've developed your brand, you have excellent photos, and your SEO is top-notch. You've researched and studied everything you can do to convert visits and views to sales for each one of your items. But still, you're not getting the visits and views that you know you need to make these sales. Remember the old saying, if you build it, they will come? Well, it's not exactly true. You can't just passively put your shop out there and hope people will visit. Today, the market is so competitive that you have to market your shop. You have to stay relevant and constantly tell and remind people that you are there and present. So what is that one thing I do every single day? Stats. And I mean this literally in that I look at my Etsy stats every single day. But I also have an acronym using the word stats that I practice every single morning and every day to increase my visits and views to my shop, some of which will convert to sales. Let's take a look at that. So first we have the S. The S is for set your goal. What is your goal? And how do you even know what to set it at? What I do is I do a comparison, and you can compare the numbers that you had for maybe your views or your visits for either last month or for this same month last year. Whatever it is that you look at to compare yourself to can be the measuring tool that you use to see if you're improving or not. So what I do every single morning when I get up, I get my coffee and I come in here to Etsy and I go to my shop manager, and then I immediately go to my stats. And so I want to compare myself to this time last year. So just kind of take a look at the visits. There's 1,025 up to this point from the 1st through the 10th. And what I really look at the most is my views. So I have 1614 views right now. And my conversion rate is really not all that great right now. It should be 2.9 or over. But let's take a look at how I was doing last year at this same time period. So what I can do is I can go to custom, and then I can change the time period to last year and hit apply. And so I am doing significantly better than I did last year for the same time period, almost twice as much. So we can see last year at this time, I only had 499 visits. My conversion rate was only 1.6, and I only had 8 orders. And then also I only had 700 views. And my goals that I have set, I have determined them based on my progress over the last year. And so I have set my goal to be over 4,000 views. So the 4,000 views is what I need to equate to the amount of sales that I want to get. So that's what I judge myself by every single day. Next, for the T in stats, for this acronym, track results. So it's very important that you do this on a daily basis. So it will keep you consistent and keep this all in the top of your mind of checking your stats and seeing how you're doing. So track your results. I do mine by writing my results down, my views, my number of views, and my number of orders on my little dry erase calendar that I have in front of my desk. So every morning I write it down. And the practice of doing that makes me aware of where I'm at on my goals, and it makes me look at everything and examine the things that I can do to improve my possibilities of meeting that goal, which brings me to our next step. In this stats acronym, A is for action plan. Now that you've reviewed where you are, what actions can you take to increase the views to your shop? It's important to write down your plans of action to keep you on track throughout your busy day so you don't get distracted and forget to do the things that you set out to do. So A is for action plan. For the T in this acronym for stats, you need to take action. So all those things you wrote down and all those things that you said you would do, you need to go ahead and do throughout the day. It might be sharing to social media, which is very helpful in increasing views and visits to your shop. I use Pinterest quite a bit, Twitter, and Instagram. I don't use Facebook as much as I probably could. I just haven't really explored that much. But you want to start doing all those things that you said you would do in your action plan. So this is not something that you just want to do one time a day. You want to do this several times throughout the day. And so it might help to develop a social media content calendar and post to several different types of social networks throughout the day. You want to find out what are the best times to post on each one of those social media accounts. Like, what is the best time to post on Twitter? What is the best time to post on Instagram? So check out those things, do some research, and make this a part of your daily routine. And now for the last S in this acronym for stats, you want to socialize. So not only do you want to post to your social media accounts, you also want to interact with others. I do actually interact pretty well on several of my Facebook groups, and this is where I learned so much about Etsy and how to run my shop better and how to improve. Another thing you can do is join Etsy Pinterest group boards. So do a search for group boards on Pinterest that have to do with Etsy shops. And that really helps a lot of my items sell by joining those groups. And you can actually go to a site called Pingroupie to find out where there are Pinterest groups that you would relate to and your shop would relate to better. I'll post that in the description of this video. So to summarize, every single day, in order to improve the views and visits to my shop, I look at my Etsy stats. So first, I look at my stats for last month or the year before, and I try to figure out how I can beat that and set my goal. I track my results every single day on the dry erase calendar in front of my desk every single morning. Then I create an action plan in order to help increase my numbers or my numbers of visits. And I write that down on a list of things to do for the day. Then I update to all the social medias that I am interactive on. Some of my items, I share shop updates, and I share some of my shop reviews. And lastly, I socialize. I socialize on several different social medias, including Facebook Etsy groups, Facebook craft groups, all kinds of groups, and I socialize on Instagram and interact with my fellow Etsy sellers and people in the market that are looking for the items that I sell.